Hello, I'm Judy Morrison, Vice Chair of the South Coast Writers' Centre Committee of Management, and it's our pleasure today to be hosting a virtual book launch. Before we start, I'd like to acknowledge that we're meeting here today on the traditional land of the Wadi people, and that country was never ceded. I'd also like to pay my respects to our elders past, present and emerging. Now let me introduce South Coast Writers' Centre member and poet Jack Oates and Bunjalung and Wonnarua woman Vanessa Kavanagh. Vanessa will chat to Jack and officially launch Talking Sheds and Other Corrugations.
Lovely. Thank you, Judy. And thanks for inviting me to do this with you, Jack. I just was really interested the title of the book, Talking Heads and Other Corrugations. That's a bit of a weird title, Jack. What's it about?
Well, 20 years ago, Vanessa, I started photographing sheds, and the dinky dye ones, of course, had corrugated iron roofs, and they sort of invited me to write about them. So the whimsy just extended to corrugated iron and to life's ups and downs, and next thing you know, I had a book full of poems.
Beautiful. And I really love this cover of the book and the way it wraps around the book with its, its typical Australian shed and the water tank. But my favourite shed goes with the first poem, Jack.
Yeah, that's a great shed. The thing is, it's got a message for busy people to enjoy the here and now. So I thought I'd read it for one very busy friend of mine who has slowed down a bit lately. Strzelecki Shed. Overnight icicles condense under my hat. Tears slide tranquil inside my walls. Night tensions seep from my frame, out the window, away on the breeze. The sun warms my mind. It crinkles, expands, floats up the track with the metallic clang and the tinkling of ferry martins coming and going. My door forever open. Distant, low ranges of irregular blue-grey corrugations along a horizon that can't be taken seriously. A still life painting with changing colours, rolling hills with sculptured vertical strata eroding to wafers of slate. The plain grows iron-rich gibberstones like dollops of Swiss dark chocolate, treats to accompany the thought of steamy coffee. It's a shed's life, and it makes me smile, for even the most diligent shed, brimming with pride of purpose, providing cover for all comers, can be distracted on such a desert morning.
Beautiful. That's really lovely.
Thanks.
That's really nice, Jack. Your Strzelecki shed is certainly in touch with nature, just like you are, Jack, with your PhD in bristle birds, and I think we met just over 15 years ago when you were managing threatened species honours projects, and I was doing my honours at the time.
Yep.
And so we've known each other for quite a while then. So your first collection, Soaring, has lots of natural history. Is that the same for In Talking Sheds?
Well, no, not really. This book is more about the human condition, and there's a lot of cultural heritage in here as well. Birds and chocolate and free beer pop up occasionally, as you'd expect. There are 3 poems in Talking Sheds that are about birds. One's about bristle birds.
Yes, yep. No surprise.
There's mentions of grass wrens in one narrated by a talking water tank, which has been converted into a dunny. And there's a picture of it there. But I'm not going to read that one. I'm going to read a really short one. It's in the start. It's the first poem in the start of the Other Corrugations, and it's about Australian magpies. Australian magpies. They've watched those old cop movies where the long black sedan spangled with white stars races around with blaring siren, screams to a halt, sheriff leaps out, struts impeccably, whistles nonchalant, toys with his 6-shooter and a tangible threat to school kids riding push bikes. Then suddenly, back in the car, he tears off in another direction, oblivious to all but his self-importance, and consequently, some are found mangled by the roadside.
Poor magpies, Jack. So do you think we can launch the book now?
Oh, no. How about you read a poem first, Vanessa? I've written one specially for you, where I express my support for reconciliation and my belief in Makarrata.
Okay, so here goes. Sonnet from the heart. The sonnet suits genocide. Ancestors dodged arsenic in the flour to pass down laws of country to an old man whose vivid dream killed off the last Mutijulu kid, her brain fried from petrol sniffing. Elsewhere, descendants thrive, become leaders and dare to cure the toxic silence, clear the dead, bring optimism to the last couplet. The sonnet gives reconciliation. Makarrata is a culmination of the agenda. Sing along to a homegrown anthem called Uluru and imagine the weight of an Indigenous head of state.
Oh, that was fantastic, Vanessa. People of the Republic of Australia, meet my nomination for the first head of state.
And with that, I declare Talking Sheds and Other Corrugations launched.
Thank you, Vanessa. Now, Jack, I'm a Gomeroi woman and I'm very excited that the book is going to be a fundraiser. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yes, quite simply, I'm wearing this t-shirt. All of the proceeds are going to the Indigenous Literacy Foundation. And Chris is zooming in on the poster that we've made up there. The Indigenous Literacy Foundation had its beginnings in about 2004, and since then 500,000 books have been distributed to over 400 remote Indigenous communities in Australia. It's a really inspiring not-for-profit organisation. You can easily check out their website if you want some more information.
That's great, Jack. And as the foundation says, reading opens doors. So the last question, how do we get a copy of Talking Sheds and Other Corrugations?
Oh, you've got to get me to stand up. Chris, film the reading open doors.
I was going to do that after.
Sorry. To get a copy of the book, remembering that the $20 per book is going to the Indigenous Literacy Foundation. Now if you don't get invited to one of my COVID-safe mini parties, then you can email me and I'll post or deliver as many copies as you like, 100 limit per household.